be doing. We are going to rescue our economy. 4 years of Kamala has delivered nothing but economic hell for our American workers. Her inflation disaster has made life unaffordable and cost families over $30,000 in higher prices. And just days ago, we had the worst jobs report in modern history. You know that. I looked up, I said, thank you. Thank you. Because they tried to hold it. They tried not to put the report out. Kamala said, don't put that report, it'll cost me the election. But the problem is the fake news doesn't want to report on it. So usually you're hearing 200,000 jobs, 300,000, sometimes like 4. We had the best numbers people have ever seen. But usually you're looking at a lot of, hundreds of thousands of jobs. Routinely, it's expanding, and 12,000 jobs were created. That's a depression. 12,000 jobs were created. But that's the good news. 30,000 private sector jobs were killed in a single month. Nearly 100,000 manufacturing jobs have been wiped out since the start of this year. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls in October. This is in 1 month. I always said I would never want to have a thing like this happen. And I've been saying it's going to happen because of what they're doing, because they know nothing about economics or business, or honestly, they're stupid people. We have stupid people leading our nation. And nearly 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force. They dropped out because they couldn't get a job. And can you imagine that? Can you imagine? These are the numbers, and they don't want to talk about it, but that's okay. These numbers are disqualifying. These numbers make them, because the famous quote, it's all about the economy, stupid. We have the worst economy that we've ever had since the 1929 Depression. These are depression numbers, and it's going to get worse. But see, they'll blame it on me. She just said, they'll blame it on me. But you see, that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to be sworn in and then have these numbers come then. I said, I hope it comes before I go into office. Otherwise, I'll get blamed. I didn't want to be a certain president. Thank you. I didn't want to be a certain president that had to preside over. He got into office, and it all crashed down. People jumping off buildings. It all came. This is the beginning. Just remember this. This was an important date. Last week, the end of last week. Remember, that was a very important time. Just think, a few months ago, they fraudulently claimed 818,000 jobs were created. 818,000, and it was a fraud. When in fact, there were no jobs that were created. It was all a lie, and they thought they'd be able to get away with it through the election, but there was a whistleblower, and the whistleblower couldn't stand what they were doing and blew the whistle on them, and they got caught. And now again, they've just revised past job reports because they had another whistleblower, so they had to do it. They wanted to wait till after the election again. And they found another 112,000 fake jobs. In other words, jobs that they're reporting exist and they don't exist. It's a fraud. That's 1 million fake jobs. Now, when you look at the numbers and you see those jobs, it didn't make it look great, not like our years. But you know what it made it look like? Pretty normal, pretty good. There was no story. Meanwhile, think of this. Meanwhile, 100% of net jobs created in the last year have gone to migrants. Can you imagine? Not to our population, migrants. But these are depression-type numbers, and that's where we're heading if she's elected. Under my leadership, we're quickly going to turn this economic nightmare into an economic miracle. You'll see. And we're going to make America wealthy again. And we will make America, very importantly, affordable again, because people cannot afford the prices. The prices are too high. We're just one day away from the best jobs and biggest paychecks and the brightest economic future that the world has ever seen. But you must go and vote, and Kamala talks about fixing the economy, but why doesn't she do it? She always goes, oh, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to give you tax hikes. You know what? She wants to raise people's taxes. That's how the Depression started, by the way. Herbert Hoover. He raised the interest rates and the taxes at the same time, and it just went boom. That's what she wants to do. She wants to increase your taxes. Interest rates are too high. They are too high. Kamala's plan will impose the largest tax hike in American history and raise taxes on the typical American family by $3,000. My plan will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses. And we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill. Right? Yeah. And I will cut your energy prices. You have very high energy prices, I have to say. You have high energy prices, and you don't have FEMA. Those people, they better get that FEMA here fast. But we're going to, on January 20th, you'll see a whole different, just tell everybody to sit back, relax. January 20th, you'll see people come in and help you out like we did in the past. We had great FEMA. We had so many, a lot of hurricanes. We helped Puerto Rico more than anybody. I mean, Puerto Rico was, we helped them so much. They loved me and I loved them. Puerto Rico, see, she loves me. She loves me and I love her too, actually. No, we had great FEMA. We helped Puerto Rico and other places, but at levels nobody ever saw before. We got in there. We sent hospital ships. We sent everything. They got hit hard. Puerto Rico got really hit hard, a lot. They still do. And I'll cut your energy prices in one half. We have more liquid gold than any country. Russia, Saudi Arabia, right there. It's under your feet. We're going to cut your energy prices by 50%. And when that happens, everything else is going to come down. That's what brought it up.